In this video, we're going to be showing a pretty quick example of how to use a table variable in SQL Server at the command line. But before we do, let's just do a quick comparison of something. Let's say you were doing a temp table. Now, I could just say select star, but I wanted to kind of make an even comparison. So I'm selecting 3 specific keys from a table, but I'm doing a select into this temp table. Now here's the difference, one of the differences, why people tend to like temp tables a little more than they should, but a little more than table variables. I could be selecting anything. I just happen to be selecting this. I could say select star, but the only part that I'm doing to reference the temp table that hasn't been created yet is this. It's a select into, so I'm just saying really into hashmark TMP. I'm not defining anything. Remember, if that said select star, this table would be defined by, every field in that table. I don't have to set that up. I don't have to lift a finger to repeat what the fields are. I don't have to do that with a temp table. And the reason for that, you can, but there's no reason to. Because when you do a select into, it does stuff like that for you. In this example, though, of a table variable, when you declare a table variable, you have to declare that it's a variable, of the table type, and then of data type. But then you have to say, it's got this field first, and it's an int, and like that field next, and it's a varchar, oh, and it's this big. And so you're basically defining the table as if you were creating a real table. And then, like any other kind of insert, when you're inserting into a table, well, what fields are you inserting? And then in this case, it's the same 3. But then I'm doing a select of these 3 fields from here. So basically, if you will, all this information for the table variable is handled for the temp table in doing a select into like this. So the thing is, there's a lot less grunt work with a temp table. Okay? That's why some people like them and they're more attractive. But here's something that you can't do with a temp table that you can with a table variable and why I like them better. Watch this. I'm just going to basically run this code and then I'm going to select my big 3 fields and probably 3 records from the temp table. There, I did it. Hey, guess what? I like that so much I want to do it again. Bang! Can't do it. Because there's a scope problem. Or not a scope problem, but there's a persistence problem because while this window is open and I create this, it's there. I can't recreate it. I can't do another select into. I'd have to actually drop the table to do that. But check this out, friends. Let's run this. We're going to create this table variable. Now remember, a variable is a variable. It's not written to disk. It's not etched in stone. It's in memory. That's all it is. It's just the imagination of SQL Server. So here we go. We selected that. Now, let's throw caution to the wind and run it again. Hey, look, it didn't break. See, this guy broke. But this guy didn't. You could do this all day long, all day long. So what that means is that, when you run a table variable from the command line, here I'm declaring it like any other variable, so be smart, put it up top, so nobody else gets mad at you. When you're doing the insert, however far down this really is, it could be a lot further down, insert into field, 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 select field, field, field from blah, 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 and then you can do your select. But because it's a variable, basically, as soon as I run this and hit F5, it exists and then it's gone and nobody cares about it. It's just like, air. It's history. You can do this all day long. So that's something to keep in mind when you're using table variables and why in some cases they're better for you.